Madam President, I rise today pointing out an injustice done by the authorities running the Tokyo Olympics. This morning, Americans learned the news that Sam Kendricks, an American double world champion pole vaulter from Oxford, Mississippi, has been shut out of competing at the Tokyo Olympics after a positive COVID-19 test today, almost certainly a false positive COVID-19 test. This is an injustice that can still be rectified if the Olympic Committee will be fair. For those of you who don't know Sam, he's an alum of the University of Mississippi, Ole Miss, where he took back-to-back NCAA championships before launching his professional career. He won the U.S. Olympic trials in 2016 and went on to the Rio Olympics, where he took home the bronze medal. But then again, you probably do remember Sam Kendricks. He's the pole vaulter who stopped mid-run in the 2016 Olympics to stand and salute for his national anthem. That's Sam Kendricks, Olympic champion from the state of Mississippi. He's made his school, his state, and his nation very proud, and by all accounts, he was expected to be a contender for the gold medal this year. But after testing negative for the COVID virus 3 times, Sam received a positive test result earlier today. The time frame is different in Tokyo, but it was on Thursday. And under International Olympic Committee rules, he was immediately disqualified from competition, even though he had previously tested negative 3 times, even though he has already had the coronavirus, and even though a follow-up test administered according to U.S. Olympic standards came up negative. The rules are you got to wait 6 days. Well, guess what? His competition is Friday. And adherence to hidebound rules like that will bar him from the Olympics. No consideration for the fact that his test, one of thousands of tests administered daily, may very well have been a fluke. As Sam told the world, he's not sick, he's not displaying symptoms, he's already had COVID-19 and should be immune. And again, he tested according to USA track and field team tests immediately after getting this false positive. Obviously, the fair thing for the Olympic Committee to do would be to follow up immediately on another test to verify whether all these negatives were correct, and undoubtedly they were. But the powers that be won't allow Sam Kendricks to get an official follow-up. No, according to protocols, he must wait 6 days, then he can have a follow-up test, which no doubt would show that he doesn't have the coronavirus. What's magic about 6 days? What about the young athlete? What about fundamental fairness? As Sam Kendricks' father said, these athletes travel too far, work for too many years, make too many sacrifices not to confirm a positive test. A very inexpensive thing to do. I agree with Mr. Kendricks. These athletes should be given a confirming test, one test to minimize the chances of a false positive. But that's not the way the Olympic authorities in Japan see it. My question is this, Mr. President: what is the health risk of a follow-up test? How could it possibly hurt anyone or anything to make sure you've got it right when you tell a young American that he can't compete for his nation in the Olympics? So, Mr. President, I say I'm not just disappointed, I am outraged. Outraged that a young athlete is unfairly missing out on his chance to show his talent to the world and to win a gold medal on behalf of his country. Aghast that a proud global tradition like the Olympics, a celebration of sport, competition, and international cooperation, has been reduced to testing protocols, rigid rules that are fundamentally unfair, inflexible rules that assume there's no such thing as a false positive. I send my best wishes and congratulations to Sam Kendricks and his family for the good grace they have displayed in the face of this unfair and pointless disqualification. And allow me to state emphatically that I'm not willing to be so gracious. If this action stands, and I hope it will not stand, this hidebound decision by the decision makers at Tokyo should make them ashamed of themselves. Mr. President, it's not too late. Even today, it's Friday morning in Tokyo. Even today, the Olympic Committee can use common sense and fairness. It's Friday morning in Tokyo. When the sun comes up, give Sam Kendricks a confirming test and allow this young man to represent his country. And I yield the floor.